Derby's rugby on wheels, a mixture between hockey, football, and rugby on wheels, where human beings are the ball. There is no ball, a person is a ball, and that person happens to be me. So I'm the jammer, that's the position that I play, and yeah, my entire purpose is to score points, is to get in front of other players from the other team with my body, and their whole purpose is to stop me with their body. So yeah, like rugby on wheels.
Well, each team has 5 players, and on the track you have 4 blockers on each team, and then you have a jammer on each team, and the goal of the game is for the jammer to get around the track, and for each person you pass, you score a point.
It's like football on skates, but the ball is a person.
So
I feel like our descriptions leave a lot to the imagination. Most people know football, so I'm like, it's like football on skates.
With 2 balls.
With 2 balls. Yeah.
The ball's a person.
Yeah, it's a full contact sport on wheels. It's the best way to describe it. It's exciting, it's rough and tumble, it's strategic. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's kind of like rugby, but no ball and on a track. And everyone is trying to either get through the pack or stop a person from getting through the pack. And it's just a bunch of people using their bodies to score points and to stop the other team from scoring points. And it's just chaos of people. But it's pretty hard to explain. Everything happens really close together. It's chaotic.
I'm Rolando Furioso, and I coach the Eves of Destruction charter team, and I am a referee. So my day job is barber, and a shockingly large amount of my job is explaining roller derby to people, because they'll always be like, you know, what did you do on the weekend? I'm like, I was refereeing roller derby, or I was coaching or going to a practice, and then they're always like, what is roller derby? So I feel like, yeah, a significant portion of my life is explaining it. And it's basically, it's a full contact game played on roller skates on an oval track where one skater from each team is trying to lap all the skaters from the other team as many times as they can in 2 minutes. And it just kind of, you keep on doing that, repeat for a full hour, and you got roller derby. Okay, so the game of roller derby itself, full-size game, proper regulation game, is 2 30-minute periods, and each of those periods is split up into a series of 2-minute-long jams. During each of those jams, each team puts out 5 skaters. 2 of them are jammers, 4 of them are called blockers. So you've got 8 blockers altogether and 2 jammers. During the course of that jam, all of the blockers have to stay together in what's called the pack. So it means everyone standing up and being fairly close to each other. You're allowed to get up to 20 feet away from the pack at any given time, but the pack itself has to be kind of stuck together. The jammers ignore all those pack rules. They start the jam behind the pack, and then it's their job to get through the pack as many times as they possibly can in that 2-minute long jam. The first jammer that gets out past the pack becomes the lead jammer, and then they'll get a ref who just like points at them the entire time. Very handy to the audience and the team. And if you're the lead jammer, you have the option of ending the jam early. So you can tap your hips repeatedly, the jam ends, and normally people do that to prevent the other team from scoring points. And one of those blockers is a special blocker called the pivot. The pivot wears a stripe on their helmet to just designate them as the pivot. The jammer wears a star on their helmet so that everyone knows who the jammer is. And the pivot really, there's a few niggling small rules that most people don't care about, but the one key thing that the pivot can do is if a jammer cannot get out of the pack, they can take their star cover off, they can hand it to their pivot, and then the pivot is the new jammer. So that is a once per jam superpower. Once you've done it, you cannot undo it. that pivot then takes over as the jammer and can get out and hopefully score some points where the jammer was unable to do so. You're allowed to hit people with your shoulders, you're allowed to hit people with your hips, you're not allowed to hit people in the back, you're not allowed to trip people or, pull on them with your hands. And the other weird thing that comes up fairly frequently is if somebody hits you out of bounds, you have to come in behind the person that hit you out of bounds, as well as anyone that was in front of you when you got hit out. So that results in a whole lot of strategy, as a key point of this is trying to run out as much of that 2 minutes as you possibly can if you're one of those blockers without letting the jammer get past you. So you're trying to hit them out of bounds, someone will run back, then that jammer has to cover that whole section of track before they get a chance to score points. I went to a soccer game with a bunch of roller derby skaters, and we were all hanging out in the audience watching this game of soccer, and maybe 5 minutes in, one of the derby players turns to one of the other derby players and says, "This game's real easy to understand." Like, wow, okay, roller derby, that's it's a challenge, yeah.
So I am Batty Bing, Batty Boom, she, they pronouns, and yeah. I have been playing derby for maybe a year and a half. I started getting into derby. I had a friend who played. I had a friend, Soda, played in the league, and then I was kind of curious about it. And then I actually was connected with Violet Criminal. I was connected with her through a professional thing. And at the end, she kind of just mentioned derby, and then really coerced me into coming down, and I think I started the raw meat the next week, so yeah, she got me hooked.
It's so fun to watch people come into the league and fall in love with the sport, and when you first start playing derby, your trajectory is actually quite fast. In the beginning, you just get really good really fast, so that's also really fun to watch, is all these things start clicking for people and they start knowing the rules, and you're watching them do strategic things and learn things really fast, and that's so fun to watch, and it's fun to have them feel so good about it. I also think their energy's so new, and although they're competitive, they're also just having so much fun playing roller derby, and I think that keeps that alive in me too, which is why I've enjoyed it. And I mean, I try and get everyone I know to play derby. Yeah, I suggest it to everyone. I just think it's the best thing I've ever done as an adult for myself. So,
I think I'm still at the stage where if I know what I'm doing, if I know what I'm doing when I'm out there, I'm hey, that's the most fun. And I think just seeing your talents or seeing your skills grow from when you're practicing in practices, and then when you accidentally or on purpose do those things in a game or in a scrim, you're hey, this is happening and I'm playing derby. So yeah, that, and then just being able to play with my team. I love that, yeah. I kind of play everything. I think my go-to position that I have right now is probably blocker, but I do really enjoy jamming as well. So I'm still trying to build my skill set there. But I'm really built to be a blocker. Yeah, I think that's the other big difference or special thing about derby to me is that there is so much body diversity, and that I can honestly say I don't think I've seen that or felt that in any other sports. I think that I want to play. I don't know, there's maybe diversity out there, but it makes such a difference for people in not stereotypically athletic bodies, because we don't see ourselves represented at high level play. Yeah, there's not sports where you see that on really high levels. I was just watching the champs this last weekend, and there's skaters out there that look like me and are really hard to knock over and are playing at the highest level, are playing on some of the most rock star teams. And yeah, I've never really experienced that in sports before that. I think a lot of times if you look at high level sports of hockey, those are all body types that look pretty much the same. And I think in my experience, it always felt like I had to modify myself in order to be good at that sport. And I had to I had to make myself something else in order to be good, or what's the point, because I don't see myself represented. Whereas in derby, in our league, there's so much diversity. And then you also get people who
I remember learning to skate as well, or in the Learn to Skate program, Bugsy coming up to me and being like, they're teaching crossovers like this, but that's not what it's going to look like for us because we have thicker thighs and like it's going to look different. But because we have all of that body diversity, we also are able to teach other players that like use your body to your advantage. You know, that's I think why I got drafted. That's what I've been told, is that I got drafted because of my body, and like that is really a revolutionary thing to hear for people who are in fat bodies and larger bodies.
Like roller derby is such like a transformative kind of thing for, I mean everybody, but specifically for fat people, coming into a sport where like your body is like not only tolerated but celebrated and like needed is such like an interesting and like amazing experience in sport. I grew up playing tons of team sports. I played basketball, volleyball, played beach volleyball, I swam, I did everything. But I never really felt like I was trusted to do my job properly in any of those sports. So it's amazing to come into a sport in an area where like people are like, that fatty knows what she's doing. So totally. It's like, it's such an amazing feeling to like, feel ownership over that experience.
Yeah. And to go in a derby community, say we go to these like tournaments and stuff, not only on track are we like celebrated as a bigger body and being like that being an advantage, but then like we go to the after party and like you're surrounded by like all these like scantily clad plus size people and you're like, oh my God, I can do that too.
Yeah.
I feel safe here to do that. And then the more you feel safe in that community, the more like I've just had confidence outside of derby to be like, oh, this is my body, and like, you know, you should see what I can do with this body, with this fat ass body. You should see what I can do with it.
Totally.
Roller derby has changed my relationship with my body, and I know that that's not unique to me. A lot of people who play derby feel this way. Historically, I have experienced lots of challenges with my relationship with my body and how I feel about my body and how it makes me feel and how I walk in the world in my body. And playing roller derby has made me so excited to have a body that is strong and capable and tough and fast. And when I go to the gym now, the only thing I'm thinking about is, how is this gonna help me in derby? Oh, I'm doing this to like make me better at my sport, right? To feel better on the track, to feel more powerful, to feel stronger, to be tough and strong. And I think that it's given me a lot of confidence in how I walk in the world in my body. And it's given me a softness, I think, in how I treat my body and how I think about it and talk about it. I think that it's helped me to be like proud of my body in a lot of different ways. Not just on the track, off the track too, because we are, I think in derby, especially like if you, as someone who has grown up, like as someone who my whole life I have had like I'm a cis woman, I've had a female experience. When people talk about your body and the way that the world views your body and the way that like your body is looked at, it doesn't always feel good. It's not always kind or empowering or uplifting. Often it's not. And in derby, the way that we also talk about each other's bodies is, and I think it also, like off the track as well, will be like talking about how great each other's bodies are. And it's this it's like an empowering conversation about how amazing your body is, or even how like hot or like attractive, but also how like strong and like good you look, and how that outfit like looks good on you, or like this looks awesome, or you looked so cool when you did this thing. And also like, yeah, you're like hot and sexy and like cool as hell. But The View, like, it has, I think, offered this opportunity to have like my body also perceived and viewed in a way that actually feels empowering and good. And that was not necessarily what I was expecting when I joined Derby. I don't think I realized it was going to change the way that I felt about my body as much as it has, which has been very cool for me and important for like my personal journey too.
You just get to see like how supportive everyone is of each other in a way that I haven't really experienced in other sports, in other team sports. On like a soul level, people really like show up for each other and want you to succeed, whatever that means. If that means like also taking care of yourself, people want that too. And yeah, so you just fall in love with your teammates.
Recently we had an experience where one of our plus size skaters was sort of feeling down about body stuff, and we made a group chat, and it's called the Fat Ass Derby Club. And Flawless made stickers, and they've been awesome. It says, Fat Ass Derby Club. Got a fat ass? You're in. And just like a celebration of like, we exist in this space, and we actually kind of kick butt in this space.